Bud Light and Anheuser Busch and everybody who's working there, the CEO, the VP of marketing, everybody is trying to come out and save face. Everybody is trying to change the subject, make this entire thing go away. But shout out to everybody who's been watching these videos, sharing these videos, liking them, and all the other videos as well. Not just mine, but also retweeting on Twitter, just keeping the conversation going around this whole Bud Light and Dylan Mulvaney situation. Because everybody who's been doing that, all of you watching this video, everybody who's been liking, retweeting, everything like that, who have been replying to these tweets and letting them know that we're not going to back down. No matter how much you try to change the subject, no matter how much you try to backtrack without actually backtracking, without actually apologizing, no matter what, we're not going to back down. You're going to be made an example out of. We're tired of this BS. We're tired of these weirdo ideologies being pushed. It's time for this stuff to stop. And shout out to all of you, because we are actually making real change. We are actually making these companies, these corporations hurt. And most importantly, we're setting an example to the other corporations, the other companies out there, that if you do platform people like Dylan Mulvaney himself, or people similar who are pushing the similar ideologies that are very harmful to the Western world, you will have the same thing happen to you. Or, it's at least possible that the same thing will happen to you, which will work as a great deterrent for them doing the same thing going forward. But here, Budweiser released a very embarrassing ad. It's very reminiscent to me of the Anheuser Busch statement that came from the CEO, just pounding away at that patriotism, pounding away at, pro-America stuff, which it's just BS at this point, dude. Like, there's nothing that you can say that's patriotic or pro-America that anybody will believe you at all for. Like, after platforming Dylan Mulvaney and making Dylan Mulvaney a face of Bud Light, there is nothing American about that at all. So no matter what you try to say, no matter how patriotic you try to act like you are, he even tried to act like he served the country. He was just part of the CIA. He didn't serve the country in the military, as far as I know. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but as far as I know, the CEO didn't serve the country in the military. He was part of the CIA. He didn't go to war. He just worked for the CIA. So all this patriotic BS that they're trying to push in this statement here, patriotic BS that they're trying to push in this ad here, which I'll play in a second, I'm not buying it. And I don't think anybody else is buying it either. Let's check out this ad, this very embarrassing ad. They're trying to change the subject, like I said. It's not going to work. We're too smart. We've gone through this too many times to where a topic will get hot. We'll try to boycott them and it'll last for 3 days and the stock will go down a little bit. And then a week later, everybody forgets about it. The company's back to normal and more companies in the future will continue to do the same thing because nothing actually ends up happening to the company. This time, we need to make sure that the conversation doesn't die, that Bud Light, that Budweiser, Anheuser Busch, they don't get away with platforming Dylan Mulvaney, and nobody in the future will either. Let's check this out.
Let me tell you a story about a beer rooted in the heart of America, found in a community where a handshake is a sure contract. Brewed.
By the way, like I said, notice throughout this entire thing how much they hammer home the patriotism. You can see an American flag on the screen right here, rooted in the heart of America. All this other BS that they're spewing, it's not true. Like, people don't buy it anymore. I think that was, Budweiser, that was Anheuser-Busch's main marketing piece for a long time. After platforming Dylan Mulvaney like that, personally, I'm not buying it. Maybe you are. Maybe you'll give in. I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments how you're feeling about this whole thing. Obviously, it's good to push patriotism. It's very rare nowadays for any company to push any sort of patriotism at all, but it seems like empty. It seems very empty to me after platforming someone like Dylan Mulvaney and, not apologizing, not coming out and saying that you were wrong in your statement. If you came out and said that you were wrong, then maybe I'd start buying it a little bit again. I'm not going to buy Bud Light. I'm not going to purchase your products anymore. I'm not going to stop talking about it and trying to say that we should be boycotting even after the apology, if we ever get one. I don't think an apology should change anything at all, but at least come out and say that you were wrong and that platforming Dylan Mulvaney isn't reflecting the American values that you claim to be so proud of. At least do that if you're going to try to push this stuff.
For those who found opportunity in challenge and hope in tomorrow. Raised by generations, willing to sip, share, risk, remember. This is a story bigger than beer. This is the story of the American spirit.
This is the story of the American spirit. Dude, how embarrassing of an ad is that? You know that they had that ad in the vault. They were waiting to put it out. They were probably going to premiere it on some, I don't know, some sports night or something like that. And they, this whole situation with Dylan Mulvaney went down, and they were like, you know what? We have the perfect ad for this. We have the perfect ad to counter this, change the narrative. Let's drop this one. This is, what did they say? Something about the American spirit at the end?
Is the story of the American spirit.
This is the story of the American spirit, dude. Give me a break, man. The whole thing is just, they're trying so hard to be patriotic. And like I said, it was the same thing in the CEO's statement. He was trying his best to hammer home the fact that he served the country and the CIA. He's so proud of his service to the country. Just a bunch of BS, man. Here was what Matt Walsh had to say yesterday. People pointing out that other beer distributors have pushed the LGBT stuff are totally missing the point. We know that Bud Light isn't the first company to go this route, obviously, but we're making an example out of them. Dude, it's so important to realize that. Like, yes, we understand that there's tons and tons of companies that if we wanted to boycott every single woke company, it would be extremely hard to do. But what we could do, instead of doing that and making it difficult, a very easy way to do this is to just pick one and beat the shit out of them. Make them hurt and make them an example. And that's what we've been doing so far with Anheuser Busch. They lost $7 billion in company value, and I think that we won't see the real numbers. I don't think that we'll see the real hurt that they're undergoing right now for a few more months, because you have to think about, who do you think the biggest purchasers of Bud Light, who do you think the biggest purchasers of Anheuser Busch products are? It's going to be bars, corner stores, gas stations, things like that. They're not going to be buying them one by one. They're going to restock in bulk. So they're not gonna really feel this pain. They're not gonna really hit the red, bleed money until those people need to restock, and then they realize, hey, we don't actually need to restock because nobody's buying the shit. Nobody's buying the Bud Light products. Nobody's buying Anheuser Busch products. So they're not gonna get those big restocks that they would get from those bars, corner stores, gas stations, because nobody bought them in the first place. So they're going to cancel their orders, they're going to cancel their restocks, and that's when we'll end up seeing them actually go into the red stock-wise. That's when we'll see the real company value take a big hit, because those people aren't going to be restocking. I don't think that'll happen for maybe a couple more months whenever those people need to restock in bulk. So you got to keep that in mind as well. Not only are they hurting $7 billion in company value so far, but I don't think the real hurt is going to come for a couple more months. They're uniquely vulnerable to us, and we are exploiting that vulnerability to make a point and achieve an important cultural victory. It amazes me that some conservatives still haven't learned how to think strategically. How can you be so obtuse after all this time? My God, wake up already. I can't agree more, man. I can't agree more. It's crazy to me how people are saying, all we want is an apology from Anheuser Busch. That is dude, how do you just want an apology? How do you think an apology is going to solve anything? Do you think these people are actually sorry? Like, if Anheuser Busch comes out tomorrow, if the CEO, the VP of marketing, all of them come out tomorrow and they say, we're sorry, we made a mistake with Dylan Mulvaney, we won't make the same mistake again, we were always, pro-America and things like that. If they came out and said that tomorrow, would that actually change anything? Would that be a huge victory for us? Would they actually be sorry? Would that actually make a difference? And not only Anheuser Busch, but also the culture war in general? The answer is no. And Anheuser Busch, it wouldn't even make a difference with them. They're not actually sorry that they platformed Dylan Mulvaney and pushed that narrative forward. The only thing that they're sorry about is that they're in the red, that they're bleeding money. They don't actually care. They wouldn't actually be sorry for the moral mistake that they made. They wouldn't actually change their values. They just want to make money. They're just sorry that they lost money. That's the only thing that they're sorry about. So apologies should mean absolutely nothing at this point. Nothing that Bud Light, Budweiser, Anheuser Busch comes out and says or puts out in their marketing department should make a difference. We're on a mission, and we should keep that mission at the forefront no matter what comes out of their mouths, no matter what comes out on their social media accounts. Let's keep pushing this forward, man. Let's keep this boycott going, keep the conversation going. Let me know what you guys think about the entire situation. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I hope to see you in the next one.